You've probably heard the name Albrecht Dürer, right? He's a total giant of the Northern Renaissance, a genius. But what if I told you there's a secret hidden in plain sight in his most famous works? A code that once you see it is going to change the way you look at his art forever. Okay, so first, let's talk about the Dürer we think we know. This was a man who was an absolute master of reality. His goal was to capture the world with an almost scientific, photographic precision, because he truly believed that nature was where all true art began. And this quote right here, this was at the very heart of everything he did. For Dürer, an artist's greatest mission was to mirror God's creation as faithfully as possible. He thought that real beauty wasn't invented, it was found by looking incredibly closely at the world around him. I mean, you can see this amazing devotion to detail in his work. Take the little hair. You can practically feel how soft that fur is. Or the great piece of turf. It's just a clump of weeds and grass, but he paints it with so much care that you could literally sit down and identify each and every plant. He just set a whole new bar for realism. But then, he does something completely different. In the year 1500, he paints this self-portrait that just shatters all the conventions of the time. It's a painting that has baffled art historians for centuries, and believe it or not, it holds the key to this whole mystery. And the secret, it isn't in some grand, sweeping detail. No, it's much, much smaller, more subtle. What if the key to everything was hiding right here, in this one strange, very deliberate way he's holding his hand? So let's break this down. We know a lot about this painting, right? The very direct, Christ-like pose, the super clever monogram AD, which stands for his name and the year, Anno Domini 1500, the bold inscription. But the one piece of the puzzle that's always felt a little weird, a little unnatural, has been this hand gesture. Okay, you ready? Let's dive in. To really get this gesture, we have to step into a different mindset, the esoteric world of Renaissance humanism. For these guys, art, science, and mysticism weren't separate things. They were all just different roads leading to the same place, divine knowledge. You see, Dürer wasn't just hanging out with other painters. He was part of this super elite intellectual circle with thinkers who were fascinated by ancient Hebrew texts and this new movement called Christian Kabbalah. The basic idea was that Jewish mysticism held secret keys to unlocking a deeper understanding of Christianity. And this is where it all clicks. Take a look. On the left, you've got the Hebrew letter Shin, and on the right, Dürer's hand. Look really closely at how his fingers are grouped together, binding that middle and ring finger. It creates this very distinct three-pronged shape. The resemblance is, well, it's uncanny. So why this letter? What's the big deal? Well, for the Christian Kabbalist Dürer knew, the letter Shin was everything. They believed they'd found something incredible. If you take this sacred, unpronounceable Hebrew name for God, YHWH, and you insert the letter Shin right into the middle, you get YHSHVH, Yehoshua, the Hebrew name for Jesus. And boom, there it is, the whole connection laid right out. The three-pronged shape of the letter Shin perfectly mirrors Dürer's hand gesture. And that gesture, in turn, even echoes the shape of the human heart, the absolute center of faith and life. It's this perfect trinity of symbols, all linked together. So what we're looking at isn't just a hand, it's a symbol, a secret sign. We'll call it the Shin gesture. Dürer isn't just touching his fancy fur collar. No way. He's making a profound, secret declaration of his faith, pointing directly to his own heart to secretly invoke the name of Christ. But here's the really cool part. This wasn't just a one-off thing. Once you know what to look for, you start seeing this secret code. Everywhere, not just in Dürer's art, but all across the Renaissance. So where did this gesture even come from? Well, it seems to come straight from the Jewish ritual of wrapping the tefillin for prayer. The way the leather straps are wound around the hand, it naturally pushes the middle and ring fingers together, creating that Shin shape. This is exactly the kind of esoteric detail Dürer and his scholar friends would have been totally fascinated by. Now, it's really important to get this straight. This is not the same thing as the more famous priestly blessing, the Vulcan salute from Star Trek. That also forms a Shin, but the fingers are split differently. The gesture Dürer is using is quieter, it's personal. It's a subtle sign of inner knowledge, not a big public ritual. And Dürer uses this symbol again and again. Check out his engraving Melancholia Eye. See those 4 nails on the ground? 3 of them form a perfect Shin. Or his painting of Adam and Eve, Right after eating from the tree of knowledge, Adam makes the gesture. And most powerfully, in Man of Sorrows, it's Christ himself, his hands fixed in the gesture, right through the wounds of the stigmata. And get this, it wasn't just Dürer's little secret. Take a closer look at Michelangelo's creation of Adam in the Sistine Chapel. That gesture God is giving to man? It's the shin gesture. You can find it in El Greco, in Bronzino. It was like a shared visual language, a secret handshake passed between the greatest masters of the age.
Okay, so a secret hand gesture. Why does this matter? Why should we care about uncovering something from 500 years ago?
Because it reveals a completely different way of looking at the world. For an artist like Dürer, there was no solid wall between art, science, math, and mysticism. They were all just different tools you could use to try and figure out the divine logic of God's creation. The artist wasn't just a painter. They were a philosopher, a channel for sacred knowledge. And that really leaves us with a thrilling question, doesn't it? If a code this profound was hidden in some of the most famous artworks ever made, what else are we missing? What other secrets are just lying there, waiting for us to simply look a little bit closer? There's a quote from the Zohar, a foundational text of Kabbalah, that just sums it all up perfectly. The heart sees, the heart hears, the heart understands, and the heart knows. And maybe that's what Dürer was trying to tell us all along, that true knowledge isn't just about what you see with your eyes, it's about what you understand with your heart.